Good afternoon, good evening, good day to wherever you are at in the world. We are thankful and happy that you're here with us. We have Dr. Tasia Cerezo.
You got it
Okay, I
right.
practiced that, y'all. I got it right, and I got it co-signed by the good doctor herself. We are here to talk about her working that she does with Meryl Safe Haven. Meryl Safe Haven is a haven, a place where youth who are aging out of the Department of Children and Families, the DYS, that entity,
DCF.
DCS, Children and Families,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yep,
yeah.
DCF,
Yeah.
the children and families that are aging out, but they may not know or have some place to go. Merrill Safe Haven is that for them. So how you doing today?
I'm good.
All right,
There's a
that's
lot going on,
yeah,
but good.
but positivity, right?
Yeah, there's always something happening. Doesn't make it bad,
No, it just doesn't make
right?
it stagnant, and it seems like you do moves. You making moves.
Every day,
Yeah,
doing our best.
and no, because you're here and you're doing it. So some people have levels to this, and they want to do better, and they want to get to the next level. What level did you enter on? Were you a beginning level, or had you some experience and background, and to get involved in wanting to build a whole safe haven?
I think it depends on what part you're talking about, right? So nonprofit, I've worked in nonprofit my entire career. I have my doctorate in education, but I, as most folks know, right, not higher education is a nonprofit entity in itself. It's
Yeah,
a very different kind of nonprofit, but
but nonprofit.
it is a nonprofit nonetheless. I have worked in other nonprofits, and I also taught a master's level course of management and leadership in the nonprofit sector. So I have a lot of awareness in the nonprofit sector. I think the newest thing to me is being a CEO. I have never run an organization. I never started an organization. So that's entry level for me.
Yeah.
But everything else, I have some experience in that allowed me to lay the foundation of this organization to not just start programming, but create an entire organization.
And you talk about the past that you have as far as some of the things that you have done. Now, your education level, do you want to talk about your undergrad and the progression to where you're at today? Like, which school did you go to? How were you in school? Give people some personality to this. Like, I was a great student, I wasn't a good student, so because people, you have a safe haven for people, and people want to figure out why go there versus going someplace else? Because they may want to know what's your background.
Well, I mean, the short answer to your last part is there is no other place like
Hmm.
the Transitional Youth Empowerment Program that I've created. We're hearing more about organizations kind of popping up around the country to focus on the population of young people
Hmm.
aging out of the foster care system, but we are the only, especially in the city of Worcester. So there, for someone to say why not go somewhere else, there isn't another program that focuses on this particular population, 18 to 24, aging out of the foster care system. I built it from top to bottom, pre-assessment to post-assessment. So there's not, again, another option. My particular background that allowed me to come in and do this work, my undergraduate is in psychology. I went to college in Atlanta. My master's is in education, and my
Hmm.
doctorate is in higher education leadership. So to build this program, I had a variety of opportunities where, again, working in nonprofit, have some experience in program building and operations and management. And then when you're talking about, again, education, I was a transfer counselor. I was an
Okay.
advisor. So I was able to help young people, and my research focuses on first generation college students. So I've seen a lot of the educational pieces that our young people might be involved in or interested in. We know
Okay.
that education isn't for everyone, but where you even have questions about the basics of college, I can answer a lot of those questions. And then one of my other positions here that also allowed me to build out the program is I was the previous director of a workforce development program
Okay.
for individuals between the ages of 14 and 24.
Okay. And a lot of times when you're with that population so much, you get oh man, I don't want to deal with those kids no more. What is your thing that gets you through some of those days when the kids or those young people might be pulling on some strings that they don't even need to be touching?
They pull on all strings. It doesn't matter the day. that's
Uh,
that's every day. I think for me, and I blog this journey because I think is I once upon a time thought it would be helpful to other people. So
mhm.
kind of startup to everyday work that I do, I remind myself that is kind of professional parenting.
Okay.
So I have kids of my own, and then I go to work and I work with young people again between the ages of 18 and 24 who are waiting for the day in which they have seen multiple times that someone has given up on them. So
Okay.
they're gonna pull all the strings, press all the buttons, and those days are either days that I have to reassure them that we're here because we can and want to do this work. Um, and then it's also reminding them that there's also rules and expectations,
Mhm.
and they are in place to keep everyone safe and make sure that the program functions in a way that helps them to really grow and lay the foundation.
Accountability sounds like it's part of what you're talking about and doing with these young people. Do you have stories of some of the people and how you held them to be accountable in whatever the action is that they tried or did attempt or did achieve?
So we have a bit of a write up system, right, where everyone is expected to do a chore. Like everyone gets a chore to start the week because
Mm.
we all live in community. I think that's one of the major things that we focus on, especially is that if you were to transition out of our program, if you were to even transition out of shelter, if you're a family, one of the things that you have to keep in mind is there's a good chance that you're not living on your own in the economy that we have. With the cost of rent in the city of Worcester,
Yeah.
you're likely going to
Yes.
have a roommate, especially as a young person. And so
Yeah.
it's reminding them that we live in community and the expectation is that you do your part. So as a part of that, when they're not doing their part, we write them up, right? So
Okay.
we engage in conversation of do you have a good reason for not doing whatever that thing was or why you did that thing. So
Mm.
doing not doing your chore, that's not typically a good reason why you
Right.
didn't do your
Right.
chore.
Right. Right.
But we'll still engage in that conversation and say, okay, you're being written up for this, but you
Oh,
also
sorry.
have a number of opportunities in which that it just can't continue to happen.
Right.
And the hardest part of this job is the possibility of a termination for a young person.
Mm. As
That's
far as they excommunicado from the place.
that's it. They're just not doing anything expected. If you're not doing your part, then having me to do more than you for
For
your own
you.
sake
Yeah.
is a bit of a problem for me. And I think that's some of the hardest days of a most recent blog I wrote. It talked about a bit of the toll that we take in this field. It's like I'm not just showing up to do the work as a CEO, but on any given day, I'm also a case manager.
Right.
I am meeting directly with them. I know all of the stories of the young people in our program, and I work with them to understand what their challenges are and how we can better ourselves as a program and an organization.
And that takes support, resources, things that come or may not come as readily as, you know, currently things are going on, shifting and shaping. From last year to this year, how have you seen a flux, or is there a flux?
I would say it's not even from this year to last year, or last year to this year. So we did our ribbon cutting for this particular program on October 31st, 2024.
Hmm.
We placed our first participants March 10th, 2025.
Okay.
In the course of just coming online as an organization, we have received over 30 referrals for this youth program. We have a capacity of 12. So at this point, I would say the last 2 weeks, we have received five referrals a week, in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
It is getting to the colder months.
Yeah.
DCF has become a bit more aware of us as an organization and a program, and
Hmm.
so the number of referrals are increasing. I think it's a couple of things that come into play, right? There aren't many other programs, even for a particular population that isn't just focused on DCF, just the age group itself.
Right.
In addition to the fact, again, that we're going into the colder months.
Yeah.
So there's folks, old and young, who on any given day, especially in warmer months, are okay with building a tent,
Right.
right?
Right.
But as it gets colder, it becomes a lot more difficult to do so.
Right. Right. Wow. The referral process and this the talk of that elimination of the job corps centers, and that was that age group, the
Mm-hmm.
18 or 16 to 24 was their thing. And now with it becoming your thing, how do you get support for you as the CEO, as the case manager, as a family person, dealing with these stories and the listening to, and then what do you do? How do you receive it, and then what do you do with it?
I don't know. I think so. Job Corps is still around, right?
Yeah.
We definitely came to the table with Job Corps when we thought they were closing. One of the things that we did is we have two floors of residential space in our program,
Hmm.
and so I met with some of the folks from Job Corps from the Grafton area and said we will leave this floor open in the event that Job Corps closes. We will provide some placement for your young people.
Yeah.
The extension of Job Corps allowed us to reopen that floor for our particular population, but still work in partnership. And they are, again, now aware of us and the work that we do. So for young people, programs like Job Corps, especially because it provides not only hands on training and experience, it is also a place to
It's a
rest our heads.
residential, yeah.
Right. We want to maintain, as someone who moved to Massachusetts to do AmeriCorps, those are the kinds of programs that really give young people an opportunity to get hands-on experience in workforce development, but
Hmm.
also just test the waters in the field that they might be interested in or not aware of. And
Right.
so we need to maintain those kinds of programs. So for me, on any given day, when we're talking about kind of what do I do with the information,
Yeah.
I try to figure out how do I better the programming that we have, but also the support across the board for our team. If we're seeing something new,
Oh, I'm
we're
sorry.
learning we're learning about new opportunities or challenges. Even how can we create some support around that thing? Also keeping in the back of my mind, right, a nonprofit is meant to focus on a mission and vision, and mission drift is real.
Yeah.
So we want to avoid that, recognizing that we can't be all to everyone. It's also working in partnership with other nonprofit organizations in the city.
Okay. And that relationship, you build those. I guess you go to these seminars, you go to workshops, you go to anything, but do you teach anything to these people that you're working with? Do they come to you and say, "Hey, man, I need to learn what you putting down. I need that in my life." Do you do your own workshops for this community?
I don't right now. As a new organization, not just like there's a lot of people who will take a role, right? You can step in as a CEO.
Yeah.
Many people who step in as a CEO of an organization, they don't really know the history of it. So
Right.
I'm doing all of that at one time. I'm building a legacy, hopefully, as it relates to this organization and creating something sustainable, but also spreading the word as far as who we are, what we do, and I'm building it as we go.
Right.
So right now, if I'm being completely honest, while I do things in community, I definitely support other organizations, whether it's sponsorship or showing up to events and activities on behalf of the organization.
Yeah.
My focus right now is the work of Meryl Safe Haven because we are a new organization, we are a small organization, and we have work to continue to do to make sure, especially in this economic time, that we can sustain ourselves.
Yeah, I understand that, and I think that that's admirable, but I also think that there's some old fish that need to get shipped out to sea. They got to get pulled out to sea, and sometimes they don't get pulled out because they're they don't have people in the water with them. You're in the water. And this is a commonwealth of Massachusetts that is known as a social service industry. The social service industry is here. You are a CEO in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
So you carry weight with just the coming in the door part.
Yep.
And then you have all of the checks or X's or whatever they
Mm-hmm.
say nowadays. If you got them, you walk in with them. But those are not your assets anymore, or sometimes they are. And I think that capabilities and abilities and gifts and talents should be shared. They have to be, because right about now, those not doing it is selfish. Because there's people out here that need the work. They need your work,
Yeah.
and not to say particularly you, but they need work in them. And sometimes you have the gift to give it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just you. I beat up other people about this when they tell me they do this, and I'm like, well, who you share that with? You got all these cats around you. You need to do something with that.
But right now, all my cats are in building.
Okay.
So I got 7 young people in our program right now. We're still going through referrals because we're honestly a little backed up.
Yeah.
And so my reality right now is that I have the opportunity to also change the trajectory of young people.
Yes.
Right, as you said, there's some old cats and fish as well. They
I
think
try to get a
that.
little, you know what I mean? I get a little ration like some of the Crockett ladies do,
So,
but I ain't,
and,
you know.
yeah, yeah. So we got the fish and the cats, but for me, it's also keeping in mind that some of my best energy is focused on the young people who also never had people to say to them, "You can do this,"
Right.
or that I see potential in you. And so, while I'm always happy to show up in community, there's a lot of work that I do in partnership with other organizations and other CEOs, and learning about their style and sharing a bit my experience. Again, one of the ways I do try to give back, I might not be facilitating standing in front of a group every week or once a month, but I blog about the journey. And so I talk about how startup is going. I talk about the challenges of everyday work as a CEO. I talk about the challenges that came with starting an organization that was really built off of grief. Right,
Yeah.
Meryl Safe Haven isn't just a name that I pull out of the sky. Meryl was my aunt, and
I
so
was
I'm
going there.
deeply connected to that work and that name, right? And so I have to also be grounded in the fact that this is our work, this is our impact. These young people are looking for us to help them to make a difference. And if I can start here with the folks that I am engaging with every day for a variety of things, then I still get to put something out into the community that says this is in some ways a product of our impact, and I get to do that work still twofold.
And that's dope. And one of the things that I was going to touch on, we got some time, was the Meryl's Safe Haven, or the origin, the tragic car accident, the timing of when that happened. You're 2025, you have your first person in there, a thought, a dream, a purpose that wasn't yours. You received it and you picked up the ball and ran with it. For you, where did you know, or when did you know, like, this is, I have to do this for her, but it's also for you as well?
So, I mean, I've always wanted to open a nonprofit. As I mentioned, that's really been my entire career. But prior to her passing, I want to say it was about November or so. I remember being home with my kids. She was in Florida at the time, and we were just having a conversation about a variety of things. But one of the things that she said to me was that she wanted to start a
Okay.
program for young people. And I asked her, it's kind of, it was a bit of our running joke of like, do you know how hard that would be?
Right.
And she said to me, I never said I would be there. I just said that I would run it. And so in some ways it was kind of the foundation of, okay, I've always wanted to start a nonprofit, and I'm a foster parent myself. So this population, I've done a lot of work with DCF, just as a foster / pre-adoptive parent. And so I knew the challenges working with young people as a transfer counselor. I got to help some of those young people as well figure out what does college look like and how to get into college. So I was very familiar with the challenges of this particular population.
Yeah.
And after her passing, there's a lot happening, just so much for me. That at some point I said on a family call, because I went to, like, we can't just come together when there's loss in the family.
Yeah.
So I started to schedule bi-weekly calls with the family who spread out across the country. And one day I said on the call, Meryl Safe Haven is coming. And at that point, when I when I said that, it's like, now I got to do it.
Yes.
And so that was in 20. That was I lost her just as the night was closing on Juneteenth, 2022. And by 2023, we were a full blown 501c3 organization. So because I said I was going to do it, I continued with that work, and all the grind just took me to this place where we are right now. It also just happened to be in 2023, right? 2024, we were seeing the growth and the need for family shelter, and knowing that we wanted to build a program and an organization that really allowed us to not lean on any particular source of funding.
Yeah.
It all came together in addition to the support of the community.
And that's dope. And that's a thought pattern that's why I think you have some of these gifts where people, they lean entirely on the gifts of a funder or one particular type of funder, and they get short circuited when that funder just up and has their whole thing rescinded, or
Yeah.
their funds are gone,
Yeah.
so they can't do nothing for you, and you don't have the experience to stretch out and to other tentacles of your life to get, or your business world to bring in new revenue, or some of that old cat money that's sitting around, and give it to some new fish. But I ain't gonna talk about none of that. Leave that alone.
Cats and fish.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell I'm hungry.
Back to cats and fish.
Dang on cats and fishes. Nah. Some loaves and bread. No, stop. All right.
I just hope you're gonna have tuna for lunch.
I should, right? Get some tuna in my system. Get in touch with you. How can people get in touch with you? How do they know about your blog? Tell them what
They can go to the website. I think the website is the best way to really stay up to date what's happening with the organization. I built the website. I've become IT. I'm maintenance some days on any given day.
Case manager, IT manager, CEO,
grant writer. Yeah, I do it.
Grant writer.
I do it all. So
custodian.
I tell my staff though, I'm not gonna ask you to do something that I've never done before.
Okay.
I've worked every single shift and every single role in that organization, and so I know exactly how to train you and kind of the expectations of things, right? But I would say our website, merylsafehaven.org is one of the best ways. You can find the blog there. You can find upcoming events. You can even find my email address if you want to get in contact with me.
And one of the things about getting in contact with you is that you're the one that responds. You're the one that they're going to engage with. So when you do respond and you do reply to these people in all of these spaces, and they get to know you, and they get to see you, or you appear to them more than just the page, the face on the page.
Yeah.
What has been the response from this community? This, your new business, your new nonprofit in the world of people have nonprofits all over the place here, and everybody's chasing the same dollar. You tell somebody about a grant, they run in to do it as soon as you finish telling them about it.
I mean, that's a whole nother schedule interview. As far as like, okay, I'm going to tell you something. It's a resource, right? Resources are meant to be shared. And I think if we did more work in collaboration as nonprofits, we're not all chasing the same dollar because we're doing it in partnership. We write the grant in partnership and we get to come up together. But that's a whole nother show. We'll get to that another time.
So she says we're getting her back.
We'll do that
Doctor's coming back.
We'll do that another day. I would say the response of the Worcester community has been amazing. Okay. Right. I can go into a room. I remember starting in 2022. 2023. That entire first year before signing any contracts is I just met with people. I just reached out to folks. Some of them responded and some of them didn't. Some of them responded after I connected with someone else who said, hey, you got to talk to Tasia about this thing. And then from there, it's a relationship. So I can't say really anything bad as far as community support. What doesn't really matter the side of the aisle they're on. I think most people recognize that shelter is something that needs to be addressed. So again, there's not much to say there. The response to the community and the work that we're doing at Meryl Safe Haven has been phenomenal.
That's what's up. We're going to end a little bit, but I like the fact that what you're doing, you're targeting a group that I would definitely, I have akin to with our Show Me the Funny. We do the 16 to 24 kids too, and we are looking to empower them. And one of the things we found is building community. How does that work with you guys? What you guys are building a safe haven, but after they come to you, how can they stay with you, or do they stay with you, or you're just starting now? Is there a goal? Is a plan to have them just, find a way to capture them and keep them with you?
I think there's a yes to that, and there's a yes and. So for our young people, the ultimate goal is that they build themselves in order to transition out. It's a transitional youth program for a reason. You're not staying here forever. Right. Like, you're going to come in, we're going to set goals, we're going to figure out what you are hoping to accomplish, we're going to ensure that you're saving, hopefully get you a job or go to college, whatever that looks like. What does success look like for you? What are your goals? We build those things, and then you're going to transition out. So the goal is that you're transitioning out into permanent and secure housing. Okay. After that, we will follow you for another year. As long as we're around, we're happy that you can come back. You can chat with us. One of the things that not a bit of a not shameless plug necessarily, but it is something that is all shows that our doors are always open. The first Tuesday of every month, we have what we call community meal. It doesn't matter who you are, no questions asked. 5 p.m. you come and sit down and have dinner with us. You don't have to bring anything. You
Right.
just come and sit down and have dinner. So that's our way of also continuing to give back to the community. Of our doors are always open. It doesn't matter if you're still a participant, your family in our family shelter, or you're just a community member who's looking for a meal. We do the same thing on Thanksgiving. We serve hot meals on Thanksgiving. You can come and sit down and have dinner with us. Again, no questions asked.
That's huge. That's huge. Cause this, I remember I was in a shelter like 700,000 years ago, but Thanksgiving was then. You know what I mean? And I figured out some place to go, and other cats didn't have no place to go, and they was there, and it's like it's depressing as hell.
For the holidays, it becomes that much harder.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and it's no shame because you also want to spend time with your family. But a lot of people will do like a holiday meal a week before or the day before and say, okay, well, the holiday is for me and my family. I
Yeah.
grew up having holiday meals in the yard of my church. And so
Okay.
it was never, okay, this holiday is just for us.
Right.
It has always been spent in community, and I've always opened my doors, no matter where I've lived. You don't have a place to go for Thanksgiving? I'm cooking.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Meryl's Safe Haven is the place. Dr. Tasia. She ain't gonna help me either. She ain't gonna help me. She's gonna see me dying to find.
I was waiting.
Cerezo. Dr. Tasia Cerezo has joined us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever you guys are at. You have just been blessed with an experience of somebody that in the future you're going to see as one of the top CEOs in this country. So this is what you got to look forward to. And she is ready. She's prepared. She's got the skills. She got the mustard for the relish. So, oh, you don't like mustard and relish? Oh my God! Where's my New York people? I need some New York people that know what I'm chatting about. The red onions.
You better get some lunch.
I'm hungry.
You better eat soon. You got something happening here. Cats and fish and mustard. And now red onions. That's an interesting meal.
Yeah, all right, we out of here. We gonna wrap this up. MerylSafeHaven.org.
Yep.
Make sure you check it out. Don't put the apostrophe in the. It's just the S, because then you won't get to the site. But MerylSafeHaven.org is where it's at. Thank you for being with us, and we appreciate your time today, man. This is all right. Have a great day, y'all. We